It was a Tuesday evening, much like any other. The world outside Sarah's window hummed with the quiet rhythm of twilight, streetlights casting long, lonely shadows. Inside, the only sound was the gentle crackle of the fireplace, a comforting presence against the creeping chill. Then, a shrill, alien sound pierced the silence. My phone, and on its screen a name that hadn't graced it in a decade, a name that shouldn't exist anymore. I froze when I saw his name on my phone. He was supposed to be dead. 10 years. 10 years since the accident, since the call that shattered my world. 10 years since I last saw Mark's face, vibrant and full of life. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic bird trapped in a cage. My mind raced, trying to find a rational explanation. A glitch? A cruel prank? But no, the number was identical. His number. It stopped. But then, the dreaded notification. New voicemail. Every fiber of my being screamed to ignore it, to delete it, to pretend this impossible moment never happened. But a morbid curiosity, a sliver of desperate hope, gnawed at me. With a trembling finger, I pressed play. Static. Then, a low, guttural whisper, fragmented and distorted. Not Mark's voice. Or was it? A chill, colder than any winter night, seeped into my bones. You don't know the truth. I tried calling back a dozen times. Each attempt met with the same sterile, automated voice. The number you have dialed is not in service. Disconnected. Impossible. How could it have called me? Sleep was a forgotten luxury. Instead, I wandered through the silent house, a ghost in my own home, clutching old photo albums. Mark's smile, his laugh, they seemed to mock me from the glossy pages. Was this the face of a man capable of what? The house, once a sanctuary, now felt like a tomb, heavy with secrets. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle outside, became a potential threat. My own reflection startled me in the darkened windows, a woman consumed by fear. By morning, exhaustion fought with sanity. I tried to rationalize. Grief plays tricks. Technology malfunctions. Maybe someone had reassigned his old number and it was a coincidence, a cruel, elaborate coincidence. Then it happened again. The phone vibrated in my hand, startling me. The same name, Mark. This time, I didn't hesitate. I answered. Silence. Thick, heavy, suffocating silence. I could hear my own ragged breath, amplified. I confided in my best friend, Maria. Her words were kind, sympathetic, but ultimately dismissive. Honey, it's just your grief acting up, or maybe a really twisted tech error. Her dismissal only deepened my isolation. No one believed me. But the calls, they weren't just in my head. I started noticing things. A book on Mark's old desk, slightly ajar, though I hadn't touched it in years. The faint smell of his cologne in his study, where it hadn't lingered for a decade. Small, unsettling disturbances that chipped away at my resolve. My gut screamed that these were not random. They were clues, and they led me to the one place I'd avoided since Mark's death, his private study, a room locked away with his memories, a room I thought I knew everything about. Dust motes danced in the sliver of light from the window. The room was exactly as he'd left it, or so I thought. Behind a loose panel in the back of his old filing cabinet, hidden beneath layers of legal documents, I found it. A small, nondescript burner phone and a heavily coded journal. My hand shook as I unlocked the phone. A single contact, echo, and a slew of messages, years old, painting a picture of a life I never knew, of deals, threats, of a dangerous world Mark had kept meticulously hidden from me. He wasn't just a beloved husband, he was a man with a ghost life. The journal, once decoded, revealed the full horror. Mark had embezzled millions from a powerful, dangerous organization just before his accident. His death wasn't an accident. It was a desperate escape, a staged disappearance. And the calls? They were from Echo, an accomplice, now seeking the money Mark had hidden, the money we had unknowingly been living on. The whisper on the voicemail, "You don't know the truth," suddenly made chilling sense. Echo wasn't haunting me. Echo was using Mark's old number, the one he had secretly kept active for contingency, to lead me to his hidden assets, and by extension to themselves. To finish what Mark started, or to collect what... The man I loved, the man I mourned for a decade, was a lie, a carefully constructed facade. The grief I carried, the memories I cherished, they were built on sand. Betrayal, sharp and bitter, replaced sorrow. He hadn't just died, he had vanished. The phone that rang after 10 years wasn't a ghost, it was a siren, pulling me into the wreckage of Mark's hidden life. It was a lifeline to a truth I never wanted to hear, but now couldn't unhear. The silence, the decision was clear. I wouldn't protect his memory. I would expose his lies. I would untangle this web of deceit, not for Mark, but for my... I looked at an old framed photo of Mark and me on our wedding day. His smile, once a comfort, now held a chilling new dimension. A secret, a lie, but also a promise that I would find out everything.